There's more girls here than anywhere in the world, and we play rock and roll. All we do now, we don't like add in. Some clubs will play a little bit of rock and roll. We play only rock and roll. I like the girls that come here.
All right, we're on Disco Acid Cult TV. First show with the new backdrop. Like I said, I'm gonna start like this, and then if chat rolls enough, then I'll move us and chat will be on screen. But I didn't want to start with the chat box on screen, and then there's no chat, and it just looks embarrassing because
Yeah.
might as well take up the whole screen if there's no chat rolling. But
I would think Fizz would be here like first.
if it's not Protomax, yeah, Fizz is always a contender. Jim's been a new good contender. We got any bad Section 8 Laquishas in chat? Jim, I think you're the first one. I think you are the first Laquisha in chat. My toilet's clogged again.
What? Did you fix it the first round?
Yep, fixed it the first round, and it's already again. I'm telling you, it's not even a me problem. It's just like it's a bad toilet. Like if you kill a spider and you flush that down the toilet, it might just clog up that day. So that's been my struggle for the day. Yeah. Other than that, I have no other struggles. That Shia LaBeouf interview has been awesome to watch the clips from.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
It provided me a good TikTok clip for the day. There's a bunch of people liking and commenting something that I posted. It was the clip that I think you sent me where he's saying that he doesn't like big gay dudes touching him. He's afraid of them.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I was looking in the comments and so many people are like, oh, it's probably because he's actually gay himself. You know how homophobes are gay and they just can't handle. And it's like, first of all, he said he doesn't like gay people touching him. He's saying, I don't like it when people touch me, like out in public.
Yeah.
You don't come up and touch me. And it's like, yeah, anybody should feel that way. But I've always hated that argument. And this is what I talked about on TikTok. The argument that like anybody who's like homophobic or even just like Christians who don't approve of homosexuality, oh, well, it's actually just because they're actually gay themselves and they just can't handle it, so they lash out. And it's like, no, dude, like some people just don't like you, or some people have a religion that doesn't, they'll never say this about Muslims. They'll never say that Muslims are all gay. It's always Christians. And it's like, I found a meme one time that someone's saying, oh, you're arachnophobic, you must secretly want to fuck spiders. I'm like, yeah, it's always sounded ridiculous. It sounds like cope to me. It's like people cannot fathom that there might be people that don't like them or disapprove of their lives. So they come up with this cope story that they tell themselves every night before they go to bed. Like, oh, all the Christians are just secretly gay. They're just not as strong and as brave as I am. That's what's really going on. They just, they all wish they could have sex with me, but they can't do it. So they hate me. That's why they actually hate me. And it's like, no, bro, some people just fucking don't like you, and that's fine.
Yeah. What does it say? I wanted to watch the full interview, but I've only seen the clips. I like that one he was saying he's like in a gang now.
I could see him being in a gang. That's not surprising. Jim, I think that's actually a good point, considering that he was like a child actor. For all we know, he has a weird Nickelodeon experience that he just hasn't talked about or whatever. But yeah, like he literally just said, people are taking out the part where he says, I don't like when they come up and touch me and shit. And then of course some people were like, oh, so he doesn't like when people touch him in the streets, but then he like beats on his wife. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to excuse like hitting your wife But there's a big difference between walking up to a stranger on the street and touching them inappropriately and like getting into a physical fight with your like spouse. Like those are two completely different genres. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like I don't even like, it's weird that people are even comparing those. They're just people that want to pile on Shia LaBeouf because, you know, I don't know. It seems like a trendy thing to do right now. Next week, it'll all be forgotten about. People will be piling on someone else. I see, and then we move them right there. I hate how the demo pops up for a second, though. I can click on a demo where it's just a bunch of fake. Like that.
Yeah.
And whenever I turn it on, it shows a quick little split second of that first before I switch it over to real chat.
All right. So I'm creating this thing on Craigslist right now.
Yeah, what are you even actually posting?
So I'm putting it under creative gigs. And we have to write a title and a description. So I put YouTube TV co-host wanted or YouTube talk show host.
So you're acting as if we want like a full-time co-host.
I'm gonna like write a whole description right now, but I'm gonna say like looking for someone available like probably like Mondays or Wednesdays, and I'm gonna say like you have someone like every day of the week, and I'm gonna say it's unpaid. And they must be into like rock and roll and politics and like just general topics. This is purely just for like, you know, entertainment purposes. And if we happen to get a response, then we can just read them and see what happens. But you never fucking know.
Jim, I've not seen Tax Collector. When I look it up, I see he plays a character named Creeper, which is, oh, George Lopez is in it. I got a sentimental attachment to George Lopez. It is free on Tubi, which I've been real hyped on Tubi lately. I like I said before, I didn't realize there was so much good shit on Tubi. I've been spending a lot of time on there. The thing is, I'm not expecting to actually find a co-host on Craigslist. What I'm thinking is going to happen is we're either just going to get retarded responses from people and pull them up on stream and laugh about it, or what I would hope, again, we can find is a guy who is totally serious about it, but he himself is retarded, and then I can just bring him on stream and make fun of him. And if I'm lucky, he'll just laugh and think that like I'm making fun of him good-heartedly, even though I'm completely making gay jokes about him or something, or I'm, you know, telling him I'm going to hide in a bush and attack him one day. Or maybe he will not like me making fun of him and he'll quit, but at least I'll get one good stream out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Also, Jim, I did get around to making your sound.
Someone's getting raped tonight.
I had to do a silly voice.
Someone's getting raped tonight.
You got high voice and low voice because I didn't want just my actual voice saying that in a sound bite. Otherwise, it'd be stupid. Like, why wouldn't I just say it instead of hitting a button for it? But it is there. Yeah, I don't know. I still want to do my idea too of posting, you know, like I'm looking for a musician, any singer, songwriter, or guitar players want to perform on a live stream. And then someone replies and I'm like, oh yeah, man, I love your shit's really good. You should come on. We'll play, we'll do it. And then bring them on, let them play a song and just be like, that was the worst piece of shit I've ever heard in my fucking life. And then see where it goes from there.
Yeah. Okay. Could you imagine we find somebody?
If we find someone good.
Yeah, it's like some random guy.
Yeah, like we find like the equivalent of like Jackie from back in the glory days of that or of Howard Stern.
I'm saying like must have computer to stream from. Please no phones. Because yeah, we can't have the phones.
Oh yeah, that's the worst thing is when I don't know. I'm not lenient on that anymore. I'm tired of people streaming from their phones.
Yeah, no phones.
Find someone who plays guitar and then write very vulgar and racist lyrics for it. Yeah, be like, hey, why don't you play a song and I'll sing and we'll do this on live stream. And then I just start saying a bunch of racist shit over a song. Protomax, oh yeah, it's a classic film, of course. It's a classic movie.
I'm gonna say that your name is Beckett, okay? I'm not gonna use your real name.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Okay, well, I didn't know. Like if you wanted them to be like, hey man.
Oh no.
Okay.
We need a musician to come on and play
I can breathe. We
like the new layout, good stuff. I'm not too satisfied with the layout. I'm still messing around with ideas, but I got a bunch of new fonts that I really like. This is one of them. There are a lot of fonts in existence. I was not aware of what I was getting myself into when I Googled free fonts. I thought it was just going to be like, here's a couple ones that are good, but there's millions.
Okay.
It would be funny if we actually get like, one day like Ricky Rackman is just like trolling through Insta or Craigslist and he finds our ad and is like, yeah, I'm down to come try it out.
Okay,
Yes.
let's see.
Sir Floyd the Breathless. You should also throw in a caveat, say, we need appreciators of George Floyd. We need people who support George Floyd if they want to be co-hosts of the show.
Okay, I have to put also this is unpaid because people are gonna think they're gonna get paid for this.
I swear, if nobody
Wait,
responds,
should I put in this like just to hype it up that like Tommy Lee has watched the show?
no.
No?
If nobody responds to you within a week, I'm gonna do this again on stream, and I'm gonna do like a completely like satirical, like it's gonna be.
Okay.
We are the most inclusive channel on all of YouTube. We need somebody who appreciates Sir Floyd the Breathless. We need somebody who, somebody who's down to get raped tonight. Actually, Craigslist might take my ad down for that, maybe. I don't know if you can straight up
I don't
advertise.
know. Yeah, okay. I have to answer all these questions.
Potomax, what's the
Okay.
reservation system in Disneyland? Are you talking like Indian type shit, or are you just
No,
talking
you have
like...
to like reserve a spot.
Okay, I thought we were talking like Indians or something. Like if you live on a reservation, you get some free shit at Disneyland. I thought that's where we were going. I don't know what we're talking about with Disneyland later. Annie just mentioned it, so I put it in the
Oh
title.
yeah, I've got a whole story. I'll bring it up after in a minute. Gay. Okay. Okay. It says I need to write an anonymous email.
To who?
No, like, cause I'm gonna get the responses, and so I have to create an anonymous email. So that's what the person sees.
Eat me out, nigga. Eat me out, nigga.
Jim, it's funny. I almost think the last time I went to Disneyland may have been 2016. It was on Halloween. I think I have some pictures that are still time stamped or whatever. Let me go see. And when I went, no, it wasn't 2016. It was definitely earlier than 2016, but it was probably 2015. Yeah, I was there on Halloween of 2015, and it was not gay when I was there. But I always cite 2016 as the year that everything became really gay, I think. I know a lot of people say COVID. I think COVID definitely amped everything up, but I think Trump winning the presidency is when everything got really gay. That's when I started reading about like safe spaces and like college kids were being let out of class to go process the election and shit. And then COVID happened and everybody stayed inside for 2 years and it just kind of got elevated and turned up to 11. That's kind of how I think of it. And when you buy tickets, you have to reserve the date you want to do, even if you have an annual pass.
All right, it's made.
Yeah, it's gonna be hilarious. What if Johnny replies? How awesome would that be if like we just get some email and it's like, yeah,
yeah, right.
and we go to do like a Zoom session with him and it pops up, it's fucking Johnny.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Oh. What? Oh, this backfired now.
Well, I
Now
told
I
you
have
no.
to redo it. No, I have to put it in a different section because I typed it up under gigs, and apparently you have to pay for that. So it's asking me for like card information. So I need to put it into a different section. So where I don't have to pay. That's lame.
Jim, yeah,
So
I've never been to Disney World. I've only been to Disneyland.
Here we go.
Disney World would be cool though, isn't it? Basically just like a bigger Disneyland.
I heard that Disney World and the one in Japan is the best.
Oh, well, of course, anything in Japan is better. They don't allow too many tourists to get in the way, I guess is the best way I can word it.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you have to type that out again really quick.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm gonna be like 5 minutes, but I'm listening and chatting.
I saw Scream 7 on Friday, the day it came out, actually. Jim, I would love to put an ad in the newspaper. I would also love to do like a commercial on like a public access television show, if that even is still a thing. Yeah, I saw Scream 7 on Friday. I liked it better than a lot of people say a lot of people hate it. There are problems with it,
Hold on.
obviously.
Do you
What?
want this to go under the artists section or the musicians?
Artists.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard finding people like so. As much as we didn't like Johnny, I will admit I feel like I kind of hurt myself with the way that I refuse to commit to one topic for the channel. Because then when I go to find someone, I'm like, well, what do I tell them that we talk about? Like we just kind of it's just fucking whatever. And I definitely told Johnny that like I love talking about rock and roll, and he really thought this was like a music channel. I remember like multiple times we'd be live and he'd be like, yeah, since this is like a rock music channel, and I'd be like, bro, it's not a fucking like I like that and I'm always down to talk about it, but it's not a fucking rock music channel. Like it's and he wanted to like play music on the channel, like of course because he's fucking retarded and didn't understand how copyright works. Like he wanted to do like a radio show, and I was like, yeah, I would love to do that, but we need people that don't have their music copyrighted. And everybody gets their shit copyrighted now because they want their shit on Spotify, and you have to be copyrighted to be on Spotify. So we would have to get like we would have to get bands that don't copyright their shit, which means we'd be getting like the worst bands you've ever heard of, because even the most fucking retarded retard knows how to copyright their music nowadays. You know, we'd be getting like autistic 12-year-olds, if anybody.
Yeah. No, that'd be so funny though if Johnny replies to this. I wouldn't be surprised.
Jim, so Scream 7, all right, spoilers. Scream 7, Sydney's and mom, she's got a daughter, she owns a coffee shop. She gets a FaceTime call one day, and it's fucking Stu Mocker from the first Scream. And so throughout the movie, Ghostface is running around killing people, and Sydney's getting these FaceTime calls from Stu. So one of the things that sucks about the movie is you don't really get much of the Ghostface voice, Roger Jackson's voice, because now it's FaceTime calls with Stu. And they catch Ghostface super soon in the movie, very early. And it turns out to just be some crazy customer from Sydney's coffee shop who came by one day. He had like 11 seconds of screen time. And so they go to the loony bin that he was being kept at. And the guy who works at the loony bin is like, oh yeah, that guy stayed in this room and he was really good friends with some other guy. And Sydney shows the loony bin doctor a picture of Stu. And Stu is Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. And he goes, oh no, that's John Doe. John Doe also stayed in this mental facility and he just got released a couple days ago. So now everyone thinks, oh my God, Stu has been released from this loony bin. He's alive and he's out. He's one of the ghost faces. And then you get to the end and it turns out it's the worst reveal of the entire franchise. That's the thing. First of all, I'm like an easy to please guy with this stuff. I love Scream and I love Sydney. So anytime you put Nev Campbell in a Scream movie, I'm down for it. So I had a good time. I enjoyed it. There were some problems here and there, like Gale just kind of disappears for fat chunks of the movie for no reason. But then the reveal of the movie is horrible. It's one of the ghost faces is the loony bin doctor, who you literally met once and spent 2 minutes with. When he popped up on screen, when he took the mask off, and it was him, I literally turned to my sister, who's 15, and I said, who the fuck is that? And she was like, it's the loony bin doctor. And then the other ghost face, the main ghost face killer, is Sydney's neighbor, who is literally just some blonde chick that goes to her coffee shop, and her motive was horrible. Her motive was like, I read Sydney's book and it inspired me to murder my husband because he was abusive. And then Sydney moved away from Woodsboro, like there was no reason for the motive. It was horrible. It would have honestly been better if it was just Stu. Like if they would have just done the predictable route and just made the bad guy Stu. One of those cases where like sometimes the predictable answer is the correct answer. Like I always talk about that anime Toradora. It's
What's
like a
up?
romance anime. It's like a will they, won't they romance. And like after just a couple episodes, you know which two characters are going to end up together. It's very predictable. But because the ride is so good and the story is so well told, you like the predictable answer. You're like, this is what I wanted. It should have just been Stu as the bad guy. What were you saying?
Oh, the post is up. We're good. It says it'll be up for a month.
Okay. Yeah, fat people have ruined Disneyland. The Disney adults.
Okay, so I do have a story. Did you want to still talk about the movies, or should I go about this Disneyland thing?
I was just about to be done, but let me respond to these two.
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
have
go
not
ahead.
seen the Scooby-Doo movies, Jim, but I actually do really want to watch the first one sometime very soon. And then the scary movies, I've also never seen any of the scary movies. I've seen clips of the first one, and I really want to watch that. I did see when I saw Scream 7, there was a trailer for the new scary movie. And I don't know, it could go either way. There were tranny jokes. There was a joke where some black chick got stabbed, and some like passerby was like, "Oh, he stabbed her," and she was like, "No, I'm a they them. They stabbed them." There was a joke about how all Republicans are racist, and then there was a joke about how black people think all white people are racist anyways. So it did seem like they were making fun of everybody, if that counts for anything. There was some pretty funny, like stereotypical LaQuisha jokes. Like there was some black chick being all fucking LaQuisha-ish. They make fun of Get Out by Jordan Peele, which I like because more people need to trash on that movie because it's become like one of their golden calves. It's fucking pathetic. So it could go either way, but I do know that it seems like they make fun of everybody. I guess we'd have to go see it to count the score and see who they make fun of more, but there was a tranny joke in there. That was the first thing they played in the trailer was the tranny joke, or the non-binary joke, whatever the fuck. It's all the same thing. I don't know. The plus in the LGB, basically. It should just be LGB plus as far as I'm concerned. But okay, yeah, anyways, the Disneyland fat gay people story or something.
Yeah, so I have a buddy that went to Disneyland last week, and he's got two kids under the age of 10, and he took them to Disneyland with his wife. The kids had never been before. And like personally, like I mean, Disneyland sucks now. I mean, it's just I mean, it's always been crazy, but it's just gotten so out of hand. It's just like where a bunch of obese people collectively get together and walk around like the plus size park hoppers. So, anyways, like he went and he was telling me that Disneyland now it's all as you said, just gay people and trans people. And that there weren't that many children there at all. It was all Disney adults. And there were so many trans people there that his children felt very uncomfortable. And I guess they were walking around and they only stayed about 2 or 3 hours because it was so uncomfortable that they left and his kids were crying relentlessly. So because they were like freaked out.
They're like,
Well,
why does that person in a dress also have a beard?
yeah, well, so okay, so here's the kicker. So they were walking around and there was a trans person. It was a trans woman, um big fat guy, morbidly obese, wearing a crop top and a really bad wig with
Re-
Disney ears.
really quick, I'll point out what's funny is that trannies and like allies to trannies, they would call the people that you're talking about, they would call them transphobic and say the reason the kids are afraid of trans people is because you haven't exposed them to enough trannies. And it's like, no, maybe this shows you that kids naturally realize that like a dude in a crop top looks wrong, like without any exposure to anything.
So
You show a kid a fat guy with a beard and a dress, the kid instinctively knows that something is wrong here.
yeah. So, okay, so it gets worse. So they see this trans person, morbidly obese, wearing just a really cheesy wig, crop top. Um, the kicker was that they were wearing mini shorts with the buttons undone and pubes out. And they're walking around and my friend sees this because he's with his children, and he was like, "Hey man, what the fuck are you wearing? There's kids around. That's inappropriate." And the trans person was like, "Well, they're going to have to get used to that because this is how I express myself. This is who I am." And then my friend, of course, got really angry and was like, "Well, fuck you. That's disgusting. Like, you stupid fucking pig." And then they left Disneyland. But it's just like, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. The staff isn't doing anything about it. They're just letting that
Oh,
happen.
the staff would kick your friend out.
Yeah. Well, they didn't, but I'm just like, that's insane that
I mean, like if they went
an
to the
obese
staff,
like
if,
an obese person can walk around with their pubes out. Are you insane?
and that's like how they express the how we express ourselves is has been so abused into the ground. Like, yeah, I express myself by having sex with women, whether they want to or not. That's how I express myself, and you guys just need to deal with it. I walk around with my balls out, and I'm gonna need you to suck them so I can express myself. It's fucking pathetic. And like, yeah, we just let this go. I feel like you might have sent it to me, that meme about in like it says like in about 150 years we went from a country where you could string up a horse thief to a country
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the meme said now like when a Haitian immigrant rapes your daughter, they say, "Oh, we're sorry, but he doesn't have a high enough IQ to understand that what he did was wrong." But you could also you could switch out anything. Like you used to be able to string up pedophiles, but now there are fat dudes walking around with their dicks hanging out because that's how they express themselves. And yeah, the Lego thing is a good point. Legos now are like they're like a collectibles for adults. No, people have ruined everything, and it all kind of goes to the trend of like adults refusing to grow up. Like millennials are the most guilty of it. I totally admit that I take advantage of it. That's why I'm 32 and I still have long hair and still do a live stream like I'm gonna be a rock star someday. What's up, Triple E? Thanks for hanging out, lurking in the shadows as always. But yeah, millennials, there's this huge hype of just like never growing up. And I always like the theory that it's because they don't have kids, because the way it used to be was you'd be a kid, you grow up, you have kids, but then you would take your kids to Disneyland and you would kind of relive your childhood through them by showing them the things that you did when you were a kid. You know, you show your kids your favorite movies that you liked when you were a kid. But now it's just like fat 35-year-olds watching their favorite movies since they were a kid, which that I don't know. You know, I still watch movies, but and I still would like to go to Disneyland, but at the same time, it's like I can dress appropriately and go like once a year. You know, if that, I don't need a, you know, I don't happen to live by there, so I don't need a fucking pass. But you know, they ruin everything. They take all the shit that's for kids and they just ruin it. And they walk around and they show their pubes and they think that's like, yeah, they just monopolize in places that are fun for kids.
That's how they can express themselves.
Yeah,
But
and let's be real, there's probably a reason that they like being in places that are full of kids or supposed to be full of kids. There's probably a reason they like Disneyland and they like seeing kids running around sweating
but
and shit.
he said for like the first time ever, because he hadn't been in years, there were way more adults to children. And like, because growing up, I used to go to Disneyland all the time, and it was predominantly families or young couples. And
Yeah,
now it's like morbidly obese people, very little children going,
yeah, it was
you
all
know?
it was all families or like teenage couples in their early
Yeah.
20s.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
now it's like, it's just weird that like theme parks have become this like safe haven for that, which
it,
just like, I feel like it ties more into the delusion as well of like, okay, because we can't be in reality, let's go further and be in these like created lands and
is
pretend
it
we're not here.
is it all theme parks or is it just Disneyland?
I mean, I would say like a lot of theme parks, but yeah, I would say predominantly Disneyland.
Because Disney has done a very good job at going out of their way to let freaks know that like, hey, we're down with you guys. Like that's what Disney's been doing the last 10 years is like, you know, signaling to the freak shows that like, hey, like we're
It's
on your
just
side.
It's just funny because like Walt Disney would be like rolling in his fucking grave.
Oh, Walt
You
Disney
know?
would be if Walt Disney came back, if he like awoke from his grave right now, he would commit a mass shooting at Disneyland. Like he would become a mass shooter. He would be going Columbine inside of Disneyland right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's insane. It's actually insane. And just like the amount of obese people there are that go there, it's just like I don't know if it's like a way to get your steps in, because I mean Disneyland is big. I'm sure you could get a lot of calories off,
No,
but at the same time they're like eat.
no, it's
Like
not.
I love that comment that I sent you where it was from the plus size park hoppers, where it was like we had a quick stop after lunch to get some like what was it, some like pulled pork nachos as a quick snack
Yeah.
after you had a 2,000 calorie lunch.
It's like a whole ass meal as a quick snack. Yeah. No, fat people are just fucking disgusting. And especially the fat people that love to consider themselves like a marginalized community and they need
Yeah,
free airplane tickets for their second seat because no, fuck you. They should all
yeah.
die.
No, it's funny because yeah, they just talk about like places where you can rest and how far everything is.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I just feel like with where we're at with modern medicine, you don't need to look like that anymore. Like
Well,
there's really no,
the
yeah.
reason they hold on to it is because that's the only thing they have to cling on to their marginalized status. If they've made their whole personality, me and
But
Jim talked about this on Instagram. The fact that now that there's Ozempic, the body positivity movement died, but there are still clinger-ons because that's their only remaining hook to being marginalized without being fat.
but
You could be a they them, but that's kind of overplayed at this point. Like, yeah, you want to be marginalized, you just claim non-binary. That's like a
but I
joke now.
it almost seems like the coolness of being overweight is like fading out because
Oh,
like they don't even have like they don't have the celebrity backup anymore. Like people like Lizzo, they're all on Ozempic losing a ton of weight. So it's
yeah.
not in the media to like, accept yourself. Like people want to lose weight. And so, when you see someone now that's like a couple 100 pounds, there's really no excuse for that. It's just not. And I love all those reels that we see where it's like when people are like that, it's like, how can you take them seriously when you cannot take care of yourself?
Oh, yeah.
And I do feel like, yes, there are some exceptions that involve people having like healthcare issues, but how many healthcare issues really involve truly being overweight?
Yeah, no, there are of course exceptions. But in general, no, it's just because people are fucking fat. And I do think obesity runs in families. Like you always see like fat parents have fat kids because of the way they feed them. But that's certainly not an end all be all. Like you can have fat parents and still come out healthy and in shape
Oh
or
yeah.
it,
The news was saying the other day that 1 in 3 people under the age of 18 are pre-diabetic now. One in
oh yeah.
three. That's
Oh yeah.
insane. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, no, everyone's just
One
fat,
in
dude.
three.
Even like back in the day, I used to work at a gas station in my mid 20s, and there was this old guy named Bob who would come in and talk to me. He gave me a Bible one day, and he would come in like every shift, and we would just talk for like hours, and we talk about like he was in Vietnam, and he told me when he one of the times I don't remember what country he was in, but he said he would hang around at airports a lot, being in the Navy and shit, and he said foreign people, like especially Asian people, they would all hang around at airports and laugh at fat Americans. Like that was like an inside joke amongst Asians back when the Vietnam War was going on. So like, considering then or comparing then to today, like yeah, it's just gotten 10 times worse.
But like in terms of Disneyland, because I've always like I remember Disneyland has always been pretty packed, but I truly feel like people really create an atmosphere. Like I remember even though Disneyland was packed growing up, it didn't feel gross because people just looked normal. And now you go there and everyone is so morbidly obese and those are the people that just want to go there. So the vibe is just even more worse. So not only are you waiting like 2 hours to go on a ride, you're waiting with just like
fat transgender people.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
not a fun time.
You're waiting with
know?
fat trannies with their pants unzipped so their pubes are hanging out.
It really is like the people make the atmosphere. It's kind of like going into like a Walmart. It's like
Uh,
it really matters.
Jim, those people, saying if they don't eat 5,000 calories, they'll die. It made me think of when people were possibly going to have to go a little bit of time without food stamps, and everyone's like, oh my God, they're going to starve. And it's like, brother, there's like because of that, a lot of people looked into it, and it's like statistically, most people on food stamps are fucking morbidly obese. Like, no, you're not going to starve if you go, a month without your fucking food stamps. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's like a sad state. I don't take anything fat people say seriously. And I always put this out there as a caveat too. I don't know. Actually, I don't fucking know if that's the right word. Somebody tell me what the fuck caveat means, because that's been my word lately that I think makes me sound smart. If I see a fat person and I start making fun of him, if somebody tells me, oh, hey, by the way, that fat person has been, started going to the gym this month or something, I'll stop. I'll say, okay, cool, right on. Like, I will no longer make fun of him. But most fat people aren't doing that. Most fat people are on the internet demanding sympathy and free shit. So yeah, I'm gonna make fun of them.
It means a warning of specific stipulations.
Okay, so I was kind of right. I make
Yeah.
fun of fat people, but the caveat is if I see proof that they are, even walking, like Jim said, just like walk your steps every day.
But I think I sent you a reel earlier. It was like a stand-up comedian talking, but they were telling a joke, but it was real. How like they were saying how when they would do stand-up last year, there were a lot of they thems in the crowd, and now that's not the case, and people are just changing their identities.
And there was a lot of butthurt people in that comment section too, I know.
Yeah.
I love when comment sections prove the point of the video. You see that so many times on Instagram. On Instagram, it really sucks, but if you're not on the racist side of Instagram, you're in like the faggot side of Instagram. There's only two halves. You're either in full blown like Hitler was right, we need to send them all back Instagram, which whether you agree with them or disagree with them, they are the funnier people. Those are the people that actually have a sense of humor. Or you're on the faggot side of Instagram that can't even handle a stand-up comedian doing a they-them joke. Like, you're just on one or the other. So, yeah, in that comment section, you could tell those people got to it first. And it all depends on who finds the video first. I've struggled with this on TikTok for like over a year. I'm finally now at a point where when I post something on TikTok, like I posted earlier today about the big gay cope theory that I have, everyone's taking my side in the comments. But for like a year, I struggled on TikTok. Like, I'd say something and I would get jumped on by faggots, and they would all just get into, yeah, my Instagram algorithm has been built brick by brick.
I love this comment that the sad part is people aren't even ugly, they're just overweight. The amount of videos I see of obese people that lose weight and they are so hot when they are, under, a couple 100 pounds. It's crazy. No, it's true. It's true. There's a lot of beautiful people under all that skin. It's just they have to do the work to shed it off.
I want to see if I can find her.
Crazy.
If I can find her quick enough. There's a girl that I follow on my personal Instagram. I'll have to send it to the disco Instagram. She's like the hottest fucking girl. And she used to be like 300. It's ridiculous. I can literally pull up a perfect example of this. And I remember one time we used to hang out at my buddy's house. He had these roommates, and one of them was this fat chick. And I mean, like, she was fucking huge. And one of my buddies pointed out to me, he's like, hey, Carrie's actually hot. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Carrie's like 300 pounds. And he's like, no, dude, like, look at her. Like, look at her face. Like, Carrie is hot. And if she wasn't 300 pounds, she'd be hot. And I was like 18 at the time. This was the first time in my life. The first time that I realized, like, oh, yeah, some people are, like, not ugly. They're just fat and they won't lose the weight or whatever. Oh, God, of course I don't fucking remember this girl's name. Let me go to my following list, because it's like ridiculous how...
Did she lose the weight?
Never since not when I knew her, and just knowing her when I did, I doubt she lost the weight ever. She worked at Walmart, so,
Oh, okay.
People who work at Walmart, if they're fat, they're probably just going to be fat. Except my mom used to work at Walmart when I was like a young child, and my mom's not fat, so.
Yeah, it's really crazy. So Fizz says that his girlfriend lost 60 pounds and she's much hotter. It is crazy, like when you lose weight, what it really does. Like Nick and I have been dieting since January and we're both down about 20 pounds. And it's just like crazy how like with just that little much, like it changes your facial shape. So you know, circling back, there's really no need to be that big.
I found it. Now let me go to my message with this dude. I'm telling you, this is like the best case that I can think of. Like the absolute greatest case of like lose weight and you'll get hot as shit I've ever seen. All right, let me move over to here. I hate pulling up stuff on Instagram because I'm always scared someone's gonna see some shit. I shouldn't message that Instagram girl. Jim will remember that Instagram girl that I'm in love with now. I should message her. All right, here, let me pull this bad boy up.
Oh, what the fuck? What?
Yep.
I love seeing those.
So this is her now.
That's insane.
That's her
What?
back in the day. And then this is her. She's hot as fuck, dude. It's ridiculous.
That's so impressive. Good for her. Wow.
2 years ago, and then this, I don't know who that guy is. I don't even want to see
2 years
that.
ago she lost all that weight?
Yeah, she said she had to get like she
Damn.
said she had to get like fat removal and shit once she lost the weight. And she said like her hair had problem. Her hair was falling out because your hair's not used to your body like not having as much calories and shit. But she said after some time, yeah, you recover. And yeah, she posts all the time about her like diet and her workout plans and shit. Like it's not. She posts what she eats for lunch now. Yeah, her back and she was fat.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Dude, she's like the hottest fucking, like easily like the hottest weight loss chick I've ever seen.
I always wonder though, like when women like that lose that much weight, there's usually like, it's not always, but a lot of the time there's like flabby skin underneath or like stretch marks.
That's what she said she had to get surgery for. She had to get that stuff
Oh.
removed.
Yeah.
Protomax. God, I should message $100 and tell her I won the Powerball. But then she would expect me to move to like her neck of the woods and have a place. You know what I mean? But as soon as I'd be like, oh, by the way, I need to live at your place, then I think she would know. Jim says 10K steps, 30-minute lifting weights, and the calorie deficit will intermittent fasting and literally just starve yourself and you lose weight. Yeah, oh yeah, you can lose weight quick. If I lost 20 pounds, people would probably ask me how long I have left or what kind of. Oh yeah, me too. If I lost 20 pounds, like doctors would be worried about me. I'm also 6'3". Potomac, kind of guy that ding dong ditches his own house. I think I've doorbell ditched my own house before with my friends when I was in high school, but it was on purpose, obviously. One time I got hella skinny because I wasn't doing too well, and my ex-girlfriend's friend told me I looked like a Holocaust victim, so I called her a whore, as you should. The last time I like lost too much weight, it was after, of course, me and my Calamity Jane broke up, and then I didn't eat for like a week or two. But I always liked how I looked skinny. I probably have like a I definitely don't have like body dysmorphia at all, but I probably have a very lightweight case of it. Again, Calamity Jane specifically would point it out to me if I like, you know, we used to eat a lot of ice cream, me and her, because when you do heroin, you eat a lot of like sugary dairy. Kurt Cobain and milkshakes is like the biggest example.
Mhm.
So we used to eat a lot of ice cream, and if I ate ice cream every night for like a week, I would like legitimately worry about how fat I was getting. And she'd be like, dude, you're being complete. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I do get a little bit of a gut. Like, I don't even drink beer, but I can get a beer gut if I drink, you know. After my day of drinking energy drinks, I'll have a little bit of a gut. And then, of course, I wake up the next day and it's fine. But Yeah, after like a long enough time of eating terribly, I'll kind of start freaking out about how big I look. And yeah, she was like, dude, you weigh like 145 pounds, especially back then. Nowadays, I'm like anywhere between 150 and 160 at any given time. Um, yeah, Randy from My Name is Earl lost a lot of weight, but now he's stretchy ass skin. Yeah, that would worry me as like a lot if I was fat and had to lose weight.
Oh, I was gonna comment about Disneyland. Um, because Disneyland Japan is amazing. Now, I feel like going there would be a better vibe, even if it was like the same amount of crowd, because as I said, the people make the place. If you're around a bunch of people that are really fucking fit, I think I could handle being in like a line for an hour.
Oh yeah,
You
going to
know?
Disneyland in Japan, yeah, I can hang out online all day. I would just like talk to Japanese people, the ones that can understand me, you know.
Yeah. Plus they're like, I mean, they're pretty relaxed, you
I
know,
feel like
and they're calm and they're quiet and they, you know, their kids are pretty calm and quiet.
I would ask all the locals if they voted for Goku or Vegeta in the last election. Oh yeah, dude, this TikTok is awesome. Took me a long time to get this group of followers on TikTok or this group of people to
But
see my shit first.
like, I wonder, like, is Disneyland just gonna progressively going to get worse?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
how much
think
worse can
Disney
it get?
I think Disney is at the point where they don't care about the money anymore. They care about the message. I mean, you see this like Snow White lost like hundreds of millions of dollars and everybody knew it was going to. That's the thing that you can go online and see the reactions to like when when Disney posted we're going to be doing Snow White and we're going to have Rachel Zegler, or you can go on Twitter for an hour and see that this movie is not going to do well. And they know that, but they don't care about that. Disney is at this point, they're like too big to fail. They're never truly going to fail.
Yeah.
They'll just keep getting worse because they're like obsessed with like the message, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe you could get into arguments that like, like, oh, the CIA is involved in, making sure these places like push a message.
But it's funny, like in terms of politics, like the Democratic Party, they totally like pick and choose because okay, so we have a whole bunch of the trans community that have basically taken over Disneyland. But if you were to say to them like, "Hey, do you know the political beliefs of Walt Disney himself?" It's like, well, they have to, it was the time, and they'll say something just so they can go there. But if it has to do with something else, then they're like, fighting against it and being anti whatever that is. But because they like Disney, they'll tolerate his crap.
Protomax, I would bet against you saying that they're gonna change. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope you are right. But I feel like they're not gonna change. I'm sure they'll say they're gonna change. I mean, they literally said this before that like, oh, we're not trying to get involved in any kind of culture war. And then like, the next week, one of their showrunners was on some Zoom call talking about what there's like the not so secret gay agenda. She literally called it. That was going around for a while. Because at this point, the companies like that, they're too infiltrated at that point. Like, sure, you can change the CEO, but like the actual blood of the company, like the writers in the writers' rooms, are all fucking millennial wannabe activists. Like, they would have to gut the entire company. It's not just a matter of changing CEO. It's like they need to fire and rehire entire staffs of showrunners and writers and producers and whatever the fuck else goes into it. Like, too many millennials have gotten into offices at this point for them to just be like, oh yeah, we got a new CEO. Now everything's going to be totally, because then what happens is like, let's say the new CEO does show up and starts running a tight ship and it's like, no more of this faggot shit. Well, then now all the employees are going on strike because they're all faggot millennials, or they're all sneaking things into, this happens all the time too, where like, remember when Elon took over Twitter and there was still some like activist employees that were like changing shit, like algorithms and sneaking shit into whatever. And it's I think there's like too much to do. So until like an article comes out that's like Disney's fired everyone, Like literally Disney has fired everyone and they're going to rehire people. Then I'll believe that they're going to change. But hold on, I got to go back up. I'm already losing my place in some of these.
But so essentially then you could just walk into the park with your balls out and say, well, this is who I am. This is my creative expression.
Yeah, if I refer to my balls as female balls, I can go out there with my balls out.
Yeah. It's your
Jim says,
creative
yeah, they can
expression.
print money. It's why even if every movie flops, they don't care. They probably get government subsidies in some way too. They also own Hulu, ESPN, Star Wars, essentially a monopoly, but our own government doesn't actually care about breaking up. Oh yeah, no, the whole like we don't want monopolies thing was obviously bullshit. True, most filmmakers and writers are I don't know why I was acting like I can't say that word. Fags, and have completely infiltrated the industry. Might be too late.
Okay, so bringing it back to how my friends' children they were naturally scared of what they were seeing. Isn't it funny how people like Megan Fox, didn't she say all 3 or 4 of her
Yeah,
kids
she
are
has
trans? Like,
3
what is
transgender
that?
children.
What is that about?
It's not even possible. It's like the statistics of having 3 trans children, it's literally something like 0.00000, like a million zeros, 0.13%. Like, it's just not even possible. So, yeah,
what,
no.
it's just like a trend that she's pushing onto the kids. Why would you want to have a child that like isn't their own gender? Like, I don't understand that.
On surface level, it's just for social points. You see this is a trending topic, you want that community to support you, and then on a deeper level, some people, I'm talking very deep, some people would say this is like Hollywood sacrificing their children, like satanic sacrifice, because I've heard people say that a transitioned child is a sacrifice to the devil. Like you've cut off a bloodline. You've probably sealed the kid's death warrant by the time they're like 30 years old, whether they fucking take themselves out or, go shoot up a school or, something horrible that happens to these kids. Yeah, I feel like in the near future, there's gonna be like a wave of, like all the kids today that are like getting on like hormone medications and shit. Like in like 10 or 20 years, we're gonna see like a mass wave of suicides among these kids that were like started on hormones in their early years. But obviously, hopefully
see
I'm
that.
wrong. But yeah, no, it's funny how when you don't expose your kid to anything like that at all, like you don't talk to your kid
But-
about transgenderism or sexuality, as soon as they see a man in a dress with a beard, they know inherently that something is not right. Like, yeah, they're
Yeah,
scared.
because
They know.
I remember being when I was a child and like I would go out somewhere with my parents. If I saw someone, usually it was a man dressed, as a female. And like my parents didn't say anything about it to me, but I looked at that thinking like, oh, there's something wrong there. Like that doesn't seem natural. So it's just like inherently our instinct to know like that's not what's
Yeah,
going on.
yeah, kids are aware of this shit. Kids know. Kids are aware that if a 6-year-old boy sees like 2 dudes kissing, like, that image of beard on beard, mouth to mouth, like
Yeah.
it does. Kids know. Kids know what's going on
Yeah,
because
but
kids are
it's
smart. Kids see their own mom and dad. They know that, okay, life as you get old. If you're a man, you get with a woman. If you're a woman, you get with a man. Like kids know this shit. And I
mean,
saw 2 posts today that said like no child legitimately believes they're born in the wrong body until a creepy adult plants that idea in their head. And yeah, that's totally true. I never once when I was a kid even thought about like, is it possible to be born into like that's not even a concept that kids even think of. It's not. It's just not.
yeah.
And now people act like, oh no, how do you know? And it's like because I was a fucking kid before, and because I've been around. I've had 3 younger siblings, and never once have any of them said any of this shit to anyone. And no kids ever said it until 2016 or later. And the ones that did were fucking freaks. And we put them in the doctor's office for a couple months, and then they came out and they were fine, or they just took themselves out. And like yeah, it's all fucking retarded.
I
The
mean,
Amish,
I wouldn't be surprised when like we're in our 50s if we see a big uprise of suicides or maybe even like heart attacks or something to do with like the medications that they're taking. Because I mean, I'm sure the doctors are telling them the medications are safe, but after like if you take a whole bunch of people over a 20, 30-year lifespan, I'm sure when we're in our late 50s, we'll start seeing some interesting statistics.
Oh, yeah, I think shit's gonna get real weird in the next 10, 20, 30 years. Like there's gonna be a lot of, like I said, there's gonna be like suicides like crazy. There's gonna be maybe people are gonna start dropping dead from random, I mean, stuff's already getting weird after this long of like SSRIs and like depression meds and shit. Shit's already gotten weird after that. I think there's that statistic. I think I saw somewhere that like straight up 100% of school shooters were on SSRIs. Like it's like a
What is that?
SSRIs.
Yeah.
Like this is Prozac,
Oh,
Zoloft,
yeah.
the generic white girl depression meds that my doctor stuck me on when I was like 17. Let me see if I can get it on Google. What percentage of
But I mean, I wonder because like Americans love to be like so hard on like one spectrum of the other. So the fact that like we've been on this like hardcore predominantly left-leaning side, like so pro trans, I wonder if it's going to like just immediately go to the other spectrum where like the media starts really pushing like being manly and women being in the home like that.
um first of all, I have to point
Outside.
out I Googled what percentage of school shooters were on SSRIs, and I'm sure like Jim and Protomax will think this is funny. The first thing that came up says, based on available research and analysis databases, there is no evidence that a high percentage of school shooters were on SSRIs. And then the first websites that came up were National Institutes of Health.gov, the myth of school shooters and psychotropic medications. And then CNN, antidepressants and violence. Experts share the science. And then Psychiatric Times, no, antidepressants do not provoke mass shootings. Even though one of the side effects is literally like homicidal and suicidal thoughts. Like that is literally a side effect that your doctor will tell you. Hey, there's a chance that these could make you want to kill people and or yourself. But hopefully they don't do that. They'll just make you not be able to finish and bust inside your girlfriend, and maybe you won't be depressed, you know. But I literally remember reading somewhere that like it was, I feel like it was straight up 100% of school shooters were on SSRIs. If I'm wrong about that, it was definitely a high number. But
I could see that.
what you were saying, basically like the pendulum swing. I don't think mainstream media will ever swing, but I do think like Protomax and Jim's generations, you're already seeing it. People call them Zoomerwaffen, Gen Z, and their whole like love of Hitler and like like being self-proclaimed racist. They're the ones that I think if there's any hope, it lies in Gen Z and like enough of them like stopping all this shit. And it's funny how I've seen articles that are like, why is Gen Z so racist? Why are there so many young white racist men in Generation Z? And I'm like, oh, it's funny. It's almost like if you take a whole generation and from the day they're old enough to talk, you tell them that they're racist, they're gonna say, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I'm racist. Let's get down this way. But now they're all acting all surprised. It's like, yeah, no, you guys literally created Zoomerwaffen. And if there's any hope that shit's gonna go back to normal, it's gonna be fucking Zoomerwaffen that saves the world. Because millennials were just fucking faggots and let themselves be propagandized. That's why I can't stand our generation, because it's like we all grew up totally normal. We all grew up riding bikes in the court with the kids. We all knew what a dude and a girl was. And then one day in 2016, like kids I went to high school with are online like pretending like, well, I can't actually tell you what a woman is. I'm like, bro, like we gangbanged a girl.
But
Our
that
junior, what are you talking
also,
about?
I feel like that also ties in with like our generation. I just felt was like even more angsty. Like it was so for some reason, and I don't know if it had to do with like social media, but it was like so cool to have like mental health problems and like be on drugs and like
Yeah.
people like wanted to be depressed and be anxious
You know where
and
that
like
starts
have
from?
identity issues. Where?
Or, you know where I think it starts from? That's the 90s.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's Nirvana. That's Alice in Chains. And then that continued on to, remember like Green Day when they would play Basket Case and Billy Joe would do his like mythed out like on stage.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that all became like really cool in the 90s to be like, yeah, I'm fucked up and MTV won't play my video because I'm too fucked
yeah.
up, like that, all that whole thing. And then it just kind of millennials took it to the whole new level and
But
they're like,
but then we had like this the scene and the emo kids, you know, and I
yeah,
feel like the emo kids, it was like so cool. Like, remember, it was so cool if you were cutting yourself, which is
yeah.
like insane. But like when you heard that, like when you saw like the petite girl that was like, you know, so pretty, but she was cutting herself. Oh, she was so cool. Like, what? That's insane. You
There
know?
was
And like our generation was so fucking weird. Like, why was self-harm like cool?
yeah, our generation was cringe. But I'm telling you, it was the 90s. That's what said, because before then, music was all about, I've talked about this before, music was all about having a good time. Like in the 80s, it was about going to see a show. You can see
Yeah.
Poison. I mean, literally nothing but a good time. You know, in the 70s, it was about going to see Leonard Skinner and getting sunburned
Mhm.
in the heat just to see Skinner. And then the 60s, it was about going to see like the Hollies or, you know, whatever British
Yeah.
invasion band and going out and dancing with your girlfriend. In the 50s, it was about going to the jukebox. Then in the 90s, it became about like, oh, everything's real fucked up and we're going to sing about it. And it sucks because as much as I love the 90s stuff, like I obviously
But
was fucking
but
obsessed with Kurt
the
Cobain.
the the people that are in their 40s now, the generation right before us, they're fine. They're not the ones that seem to be overly depressed. It was solely us.
Well, I think we got like kind of like the shit end of the deal because it was Generation X. You know, like I said, it was like the Kurt Cobains that made that shit cool. But then they all either killed themselves or had kids, and then they kind of spread their cynicism onto their kids, which was the
Yeah.
millennials.
You know what's interesting? So yesterday, I was looking at like a friend of mine posted a picture of him and his family, and he is our age, and he has gauges. At 35 years old, he still has gauges. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know, I think like, do you recall any other generation that has gauges? Because if you think about the younger generation today, they like all the stuff that we liked, but they're not into the gauges and the piercings like we were. So they're into all the Y2K stuff and, you know, all that, but they don't want to you know, expand their ears. But for some reason that was like such a big trend with us.
I only popped this up because I've also always been curious about this too. I saw a statistic that said millennials were the drunkest. Like we did drink the most. And I'm kind of curious why. That's one thing I am proud of. Like I talked about, I was
Well,
drinking vodka out of water bottles during zero
because
period in high
so,
school.
someone posted a reel about this actually. If you look back at all of like the radio music that we had, a lot of it was about partying. It was like, you know, come on, let's have a good time. It was all just kind of rave music telling us to party. So we wanted to drink more.
Hold on. I have to stop and point out that I've never been more aware of how old I am and how old you are now because you're the one that said it. But the way that you described radio music as, come on, let's have a good time.
No, there a song? There was a song like I'd have to look it up. There was a song with those
There's no
exact
way there was a
lyrics.
song with the lyrics, come on, let's have a good time. Come on, let's have a good time song.
I'll have to find you the reel that I found. But the point is, we had a lot of
No, I know what you mean.
songs, you know,
Yeah,
that were telling us like, let's go party, you know?
we
And
were like
yeah,
the EDM like dubstep, and then it turned into
yeah,
like Black Eyed Peas would have wobble in songs. Yeah, it was like we're
yeah,
the Kesha generation. I loved Kesha
yeah.
back in the day. Um,
But I mean, it's like, it's funny because I follow a lot of these pages where it's like women um showing off all the millennial trends. And it's funny, like the extent that people would go to party. So like for girls, it's like it could be snowing and 20 degrees outside, but we were out there in fucking skirts and heels, like ready to rage. Like all people wanted to do was party. Wait, what
Jim,
is
what did you
this?
do? What did you do when your girlfriend said she tried to drink it? Dude, first of all, you were dating chicks in the 6th grade, you fucking animal. Dude, I didn't date a girl till my freshman year of high school. Self-harm girls. I remember my first blowjob, the one in a porta potty, came from a girl who claimed that she tried to off herself by dropping a toaster in the bathtub, and we were like, "That's so fucking no, you did not." Like, she was literally a girl who would tell you that she tried to kill herself and she didn't. Because who is actually doing that? Like, what is this, a James Bond movie from 1964? You drop in the space heater in the bathtub. Like, why didn't you just get your family's Mexican? Your dad has a gun. Like, fucking shoot yourself, dude. Like, stop. But that was the kind of girl I was getting blowjobs from, I guess. What are you gonna do? It's not my fault. She offered. Fist says all the weird 40-year-old moms who became dykes and turned their kids trans are trying to keep up with it. Yeah, a lot of it is the old people, they just think this stuff is trendy. There's that video of the old lady letting the black guy put the shackles on her hands, and he's like, "Welcome to America," and she's like trying to show her what it was like to be a slave, even though he has no idea.
But I mean, also like, one thing I have noticed with purely our generation is the fashion was really colorful. Like if you look at like what the kids were wearing in like the early 2000s and the 90s, it was a lot of like darker, more natural tones. And then when we were in middle school and high school, a lot of people wore like neon tones. And that's what was pushed onto us, was wearing like crazy leggings and like skinny or like bright neon skinny jeans with t-shirts. So that kind of like ties into the whole partying thing. And then now I notice today, the kids today don't like to wear colors at all. They only like to wear muted tones. So I feel like we were literally created into this like party generation.
I might be shifting too hard right on this topic, but I saved this clip. I forgot about it until now. So Billy Corgan is kind of going viral for this clip. It is on Instagram, so I do not control the volume, so it's up to you guys. But I saw somebody in the comments called it the wiggerification of pop culture in America, and I kind of liked that term. So I've talked about this before, how I say, when I was in high school, the biggest rock star I can think of was Lil Wayne. Like Lil Wayne was a rock. Like, remember when like rock was out and MTV played hip hop and the videos were like black dudes with guns and cars and girls and shit. And yeah, then this clip comes out from Billy Corgan's channel, and he says this.
Rock has been purposely dialed down in the culture.
When would you say that began? Mid 2000s?
Late 90s. I think the first, and again, this gets wizard behind the curtain, right? Somebody's going to say, well, how do you know, or who was the wizard behind the curtain? All I know is I saw the gravity shift. Okay. If you were at MTV or around MTV, 1997, 98, suddenly they decided rock was out.
Right.
When rock was still very, very high up in the thing. And it was replaced by rap.
Right.
They immediately changed the way their standards and practices immediately shifted.
Right.
So now that things that weren't allowed were suddenly allowed, people were waving guns. Okay. So some people assert that the CIA was involved in all that, again, above my pay grade, but I saw it happen. I did witness it happen. Okay.
Right.
And of course, great music came out of it. So it's not like it's not a barren wasteland where something was pushed in that replaced something. Qualitative things and great artists came in, but there was this overt shift. I saw it happen.
Right.
And then now, as you pointed out, rap seems to be waning in terms of its cultural influence.
Right.
Pop is completely dominant. Rock is probably the most dominant ticket selling thing in the Western world, and yet there's almost no representation of rock in culture.
Right.
So why do we have that schism? I think they purposely dialed down the ability of rock stars to have a voice in the culture.
Somebody said rock creates unity among white people, and our enemies can't have that. Like, people are saying like rock is like the party, or like the what's up, Francis? Is like the rebellious, like I don't know, white dudes. Of course, there are people arguing in the comments, oh, well, black people created rock and roll, which, by the way, I hate when they bring that up because it's like, sure, maybe in the grand scheme of rock and roll, you could always tie it back to some guy named like Jigaboo Jackson in 1914 who tied a shoelace to a stick and like farted on it so it vibrated and sounded kind of like a bass. But at the end of the day, like white people took that shit and made it way better. Like when people talk about Elvis Presley and they're like, oh, Elvis stole black music. It's like, no, Elvis took influence from black artists. Like all artists do. They take influence from things. And he did it a million times better than them. That's what they're mad about, is that Elvis came along and did it better. People were mad when 50 Cent said that Eminem took black music and did it better, you know, so they always have to point out. And I'm honestly not even too sold on the idea that like solely black people created rock and roll. Again, I think they laid down a lot of tracks that white people took and ran with. You know, of course, you got like fucking Little Richard and like Chuck Berry. Of course, those guys are, you know, iconic. And then, like I said, even before then, yeah, I'm sure there was a guy that tied a fucking shoelace to a string and thumped it like the fucking bass or whatever. But yeah, anyways, I don't know how I thought that like tied in, because we were talking about how we were like the party generation, kind of, but it almost does kind of seem like, because before us, it would have been like rock generations, and they were also party generations too, but we were kind of like the party generation for like no reason. Like we were like, let's go get drunk in a field. And there's like nothing good that could possibly come out of this. Generations before, it seems like they all kind of partied, but they all at least had like causes or like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I still like that term though, the wiggerification of pop culture, because there was a big push. I mean, like I said, when I went to high school, I hate this emo trend now of everyone being like, oh, emo's so cool. Remember when we were all emo in high school? And I'm like, no, brother. Middle school was wiggers calling me a faggot because I was actually like an emo kid. I still think of that as like a derogatory term. I don't identify as ever having been emo, but the way that everyone now is like, oh yeah, I remember my emo phase. And I'm like, bro, you called me a faggot in 8th grade because I wore fingerless gloves. Like, what are you talking about? Your emo, you know, it's the same way that kids bullied you if you were into Pokemon, but then when that Pokemon Go game came out, they were all running around downtown catching Pokemon. But the new background, yeah, hell yeah. Like I said in the very beginning, I'm still kind of messing around with some stuff. I don't like this too much. I want a little bit more. The problem is it needs to be black so you can read the chat. But now that I realized that I have all these new settings, look at all these themes we have for like how I can make chat look. Like that looks kind of cool. Looks kind of like old school 8-bit. I don't like how much space the comments take up though. I don't like the Minecraft themed ones because I don't want people to think this is like a gaming stream. But see, like that looks cool. That could be done in a, what is LOL? Is that some kind of game? Because a lot of these are like Fortnite based or like PUBG based. I'm getting distracted now. Anyways,
Party generation.
I don't fucking know. A great part is how rock music was gay in high school, yet now everyone loves. I've talked about that before too. When I was in high school too, and we were seeing kids, we made fun of kids that listen to butt rock. But now we're all into butt rock. And now I see a lot of kids in their 20s. Most kids in their 20s and even in high school, they listen to like Led Zeppelin and The Doors. Whereas me and my friends would have made fun of you. And we would have been like, you didn't check out the newest Skylit Drive album, bro? You're a faggot. You don't listen to Attack Attack. You like Led Zeppelin? You're a fucking butt rock faggot. Meanwhile, I'm wearing size 3 jeggings and eyeliner. But I have 2 girlfriends at one time. So that was always my thing, was I don't care. Yes, I'm wearing jeggings and eyeliner, but I have 2 girlfriends. Like, what are you going to tell me?
It's crazy, like how many chicks the scene guys always pulled. And they had just like the craziest hair when you think about it. But I remember like back then, like seeing that hair. Oh my gosh. It was just like the hottest thing in the world when you couldn't even see his face, when his hair just, it was over. And now it's like, that looks fucking stupid. Like, what?
Yep. I did not care how I looked or how uncomfortable the pants were or like how
Or
much I
like
hated straightening my
what-
hair in the morning. I had 2 girlfriends. What are you going to tell me? I don't give a
Like-
what are you going to tell me?
Because some guys like really did it up with their hair, like they used hairspray to like make it go straight up in the back.
I never
It was like-
teased my hair. I straightened my hair. You know, I did the whole you pull it all to one side.
Mhm.
And I would intentionally mess up the back. You always wanted the bad head in the back, but I never teased my hair. I was never that dedicated or used hairspray. I straightened my hair and I would purposely grease my hair up. Like I just overuse it like coconut oil or, argan oil or
Yeah.
work at a pizza joint. I used to rub chicken grease in my hair actually.
What?
Yeah, I used to rub chicken grease in my hair. I used to not shower for like days to possibly weeks at a time. But I had 2 girlfriends. Like, just no matter what, I had 2 like, it didn't matter. Like, at any given moment, I had a girlfriend and a girlfriend that the other girl didn't know about. Or I was dating a girl, but I'm also getting back with my ex. Like, or I met a girl from out of town. I'm driving to see her this weekend. I'm wearing red eyeshadow, but this girl's a fucking 9 and she's an out of town girl. Like, I don't care what anyone says. I didn't care that my parents thought I was fucking gay. Like, that was the worst part, was trying to explain it to like your parents. They're like, why are you straightening your hair for the 2nd time today? Like, well, I got 2 girlfriends. And they're like, but you look fucking gay. And I'm like, no, but you're not hearing me. Like, I have 2 girlfriends. Like, what are we even arguing about? Francis, back then, the guy that looked most like a bitch was getting all the women. Charlie Murphy. Oh, absolutely. Ripped black skinny jeans. I always hated the term skinny jeans. I just called them tight pants. Checkered Vans. Oh no, I did do checkered Vans, but not in high school. In high school, I went to Toms. I did those slip-on Toms in a band shirt or hoodie. Yeah, and then if you were in a band, it was even if your band sucks, because my band in high school was absolute shit. If Annie gets off, whenever Annie gets off, if I still stay on, I might pull up a song from my high school band just to show you guys. I mean, it's listenable. Don't get me wrong. It's just.
See, I always liked the guys in high school that looked like that. And then it was like bonus points if they were fucked up, like on drugs. Like if they had
Yeah.
that look, if they had that like chilled look as if like they weren't all there, it just made the look hotter, because their eyes were kind of like slits. And like 14-year-old girls are just like, that's amazing.
That was the look I mastered with the red eyeshadow. If you watch the music video for Take It Away by The Used, Burt McCracken is wearing red eyeshadow, and that's where I got the look from, except he wore the red eyeshadow on like this half of his eye.
Yeah.
I just did it around the whole eye. It was just red, and my eyes just looked sunken in like an unbelievable, like and girls just thought it was the best fucking thing ever. They just thought it was the greatest thing. I actually had it on the night that I met Calamity Jane, but she didn't see it because we hung out at nighttime and we went to a cemetery. But I went to a party before then, and I was fucking. I think I was 21. That was probably honestly the last time I ever wore the red eyeshadow. But before then, when I was like 18, 19, and I was wearing red eyeshadow and like jeans that were very uncomfortable, it was like. I mean, my greatest success story with a girl at a show was with the bleach blonde hair and the red eyeshadow. Like I was just unstoppable. And that was even kind of after the scene days. That was in my Kurt Cobain days when I was bleaching my hair blonde because I liked Kurt Cobain, but I held on to things like eyeshadow and painting my nails and shit. The scene aesthetic from 2011 was the closest thing. Oh yeah, the scene kid look like I've talked about. My mom told me it was hair metal. It was like everyone looked like Nikki Sixx. They just it was the Hot Topic version of it. I should do a stream. My hair's not long enough, and I wouldn't straighten my hair nowadays because my hair I couldn't. I do have a hair straightener still. I use it for clothes. Like I use it as like an iron if I ever need to iron.
No.
Sometimes I'll iron like a patch onto my bag or my jeans or whatever, and I use the hair straightener. But I do have black nail polish still in my bathroom. I would need to find red eyeshadow, which I don't even know if I could spend money on nowadays.
That would be fun for like a Halloween stream. You just roll up.
Okay, see,
We'll
Jim went
see.
the opposite route. Jim played football. Like me and Jim would have beefed in high school, is what would have happened. Because I usually beefed with football players. And burnouts. I beefed with the burnouts and the football players is generally who I was getting in fights with in high school. And it was always over girls. But that's how you know that we were successful, is that the fact that the scene kids were beefing with football players over girls, because football players' girlfriends liked us. We were like the forbidden fruit that they were, they were supposed to like guys on the football team, but they actually liked guys that were playing in bands and had long hair and wore makeup. I literally remember this one kid that I had a beef with, this other kid named Anthony, told me, he said something like, every guy in the school hates you, but like every girl in the school likes you. And I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's probably why all the guys in this fucking school don't like me. But, yeah, I don't know. Our generation was just kind of fucking retarded.
Well, it's funny that you say that because so I've known Nick since high school and he was like a footballer, but back then I was super into the stoners and the drug addicts. And now I wound up with the football player years later.
It just shows
So
that with
it's
enough
just-
time, you mature and
Yeah,
you realize.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, now you don't want a drug addict.
Yeah. All the girls that stuck it through with the addicts are now regretting it, and the girls that married like the normal dudes are having a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, my main ex-girlfriend from high school, it always I'm so fucking jealous of the dude that she married. They're like married and they've got a kid and she's like doing super well. I'm like happy, like me and her are still friends. Like we still once in a blue moon we'll talk for like a short time or send each other songs that we think the other one will like or whatever. But I'm like very jealous of her, like the dude that got to marry her. I'm super jealous of that guy. Because drug addicts don't have real jobs. Yeah, no, drug addicts cannot hold down real jobs. There's no chance. Some of them think they can, and some of them do for a while. You can usually hold down a job, depending on the circumstances, for a couple of weeks to months as a drug addict, but something will happen. Like,
it's so funny. When I was like 14, I had a huge crush on this guy named Matt. And I was like, he was like 2 grades above me. And he must have been, yeah, like 16. And by the time he was 16, he had done all the drugs. And like he was known, if you needed to know anything about drugs or where to get certain drugs, you would go to Matt. And I was and he just like constantly looked fucked up. And I was just like, because it was cool to be fucked up back then, I was so infatuated with that. I had a huge crush on him. And he ended up being my first kiss. And while on drugs. Anyways, he was so cool. He's still on drugs and he has a lot of brain damage. And now he's on disability and he's not doing well and he's gross. So he didn't make it too far at all. He ended up marrying another girl from high school, also on drugs, and
dude.
they
Link online. Fentanyl reactor charging.
they ended up, yeah, they got married and they just had a baby last year and they're both on disability. So I don't know. But they've invited me to hang out a couple times and I don't want to.
No, I don't blame you.
I don't want to. I'm like, dude, like the last time I saw him was in high school and like that's when I thought he was like hot and cool. So I'm like, let's leave it at that. I don't need to see where you're at now.
Unless you feel like activating the fent reactors.
Yeah, I just don't. I just think it's wild when people decide to have a child and they can't work.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Like it's like what?
Francis, you haven't even heard anything that I got under the soundboard. I've got I was showing Annie before the stream. I've got way too many that I'll never use. Like, there's no reason for this.
Epstein kidnapped me when I was 11. He showed me his song feels like heaven.
That goes on for like a minute. This one goes on for a while.
Link online. Fentanyl reactor charging.
Cybertron systems check. Droid vision initializing.
Negro Tech software update. Afritronics motherboard humming.
Black Ops protocol engaged.
That's not too long, but it is good. But like, when am I ever gonna hit that? You know, like, oh yeah, Disneyland is for fat gay people, and then
Rest in peace, my granny, she got hit by a bazooka. Yeah, I think about it every time I hit the hookah.
that one goes on for the whole chorus. We got the gym. This is specifically at the gym sound.
Someone's getting raped tonight.
But yeah, no, the people that do drugs that have kids. I mean, first of all, the kids are accidents. You know what's funny is
No, but they were actually trying for a kid. Like,
Oh,
she
God.
wanted to have a child, so they were. I love that phrase though. Like, they're trying for a kid. It's like, okay, I understand.
Oh yeah, I love those reels, and it's funny because I was making that joke before anyone. I swear, when you're at like the family dinner table and your cousin's like, "Oh yeah, we're trying to have a baby," it's like you just told the whole family that you're fucking raw every night of the week, busting loads inside. Like you're putting your head up, your ankles over your head type shit, letting the gravity do the work. Like that's how you tell grandma. That's crazy shit. But it's
No,
actually
when, like-
funny. Right before me and Fizz, you got a drink. Right before me and Calamity Jane, both went to rehab. Like once we pulled the trigger on like getting off drugs, one of my like kind of last attempts to like, because we were not in agreement on like if we wanted to get clean or not. We kind of always went back and forth. At one time, she'd want to get clean and I wouldn't, and then I would want to and she wouldn't. And one of the times, my bright idea, my suggestion was like, "Oh, we should have a kid. Like you should take out your IUD." And like maybe if you get pregnant, that I said maybe if you get pregnant, that switch in us will flip. You know, like some people get pregnant and then like the parent switch flips. Sometimes, unfortunately, it doesn't, and then that's when you get fuck up parents. But and no, we were living at a heroin dealer's house, and I was like, we should get pregnant. Maybe that's what will make us like get better. So in an alternate universe, like I convinced her, and like she went to the doctor and took out the IUD, and like who knows how that universe turned out. Honestly, probably better than the universe I'm in now. So I don't really know what I'm hating on, but
Wait, these comments are great. Like, child and not work. Do you see this?
you mean the black? Jesus Christ! People who have kids but don't work. Oh wait, you know what I got?
Meet me at the good.
I have so many racist songs that I mix them up now. I guess it could also be.
Meet me at the good jittery pocket I killer.
Yeah, kaboom, kaboom, kabla. Dude, it's such a good song. It's kind of a bummer though. I saw an Instagram post. Some guy was like, "I've been making beats and producing for over a decade, and I've got like 1,000 followers." And then this song about a granny getting hit by a bazooka goes viral.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with that too. I'm like, dude, I've been streaming for like a year now, and like I got nothing. And then you
Yeah,
got
but
like,
that you have to like do or say something absolutely crazy. I mean, like, look at those guys, the Island Boys, what they had to do. Like, that hair was fucking stupid. And they went so viral. So, like, you need to, like, I don't know, wear some crazy mask or do something insane.
the thing is, like, sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, a lot of times it doesn't work, and sometimes you don't even have to go that far. Like sometimes you're just the spit on that thing girl, the Haktua girl. Sorry, like sometimes that's all you have to say. Jim says my child would have had fetal alcohol syndrome. None of us were drinking. We weren't drinkers. What might have happened is like I would have got her pregnant and like she would have relapsed on heroin, or we would have never quit heroin and just got pregnant and continued doing heroin. Like, who knows how it would have gone. But like I said, for all I know, it worked out really well. And there's an alternate universe where I have a kid and I'm not streaming to like 5 people. I'm like working a job and like raising a child and I'm happy. I love that part at the end. Oh, that granny. Oh, she done. I don't understand why he forgives and forgets in the song, though. That's what I'm confused about. In the very last verse, when he's like, "I'm sorry, Granny, but I'm gonna have to forgive him and forget." Like, why? Why are you forgiving? Yeah, there's a full version, or like the longest version of the song. He goes into a verse, and at the end, he says, "I'm sorry, Granny. I'm gonna have to forgive him and forget." And it's like, why would you forgive the people that bazookaed your grandmother?
I think that's part of the joke.
I'll dress like a Klan member. Dixon Cider, you have way too good of a job to be dressing like a Klan member.
Yeah, but nobody will know who he is if he's all dressed up.
But I mean, that's true. We could do it on a different day. He could just go by a different name. And he has a laptop. If you download voice mod, you can use a voice changer and like make your voice deeper or something. The Island Boys. Oh yeah, the Island Boys started an OF and they were like making out with each other because
I saw that.
they legitimately believed that because they're twins, there's no like possibility for things to get weird between them. Like they're like, oh, we're like the same person anyway. So I think they think it's just kind of like jacking off. But it's like, bro, you are two different people. Like it's not.
That's disgusting. What?
I've always said if this channel hits 1,000 subscribers, I'll start name dropping more ex-girlfriends. I think I kind of do that already, though, but not all of them. And I'll never name drop Calamity Jane. Don't get that one messed up. I can't fuck up anymore there. But I also think I said I'll do like a ranking. I'll list all my ex-girlfriends, like favorite to least favorite or whatever. Like I'll rank them all.
What if you like made a Cameo account and
Nobody
see if
would.
people? But I mean, the amount of like YouTubers that are like $5 for a cameo on there.
Yeah, but they're YouTubers with 1 million subscribers, or at least like 50,000
but
subscribers.
just, could you imagine?
Oh, Francis, I've seen that kid. It looks like fucking. It looks like an alien. They were definitely doing some weird shit when they had that kid. If they weren't drinking,
the kid had the fetal alcohol syndrome.
does he actually have that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw that video. It was fucked.
Wait, what is Hoey, Fizz? How the Hoey have fallen? Are you saying? Oh, are you saying the Haktua girl?
I think you should have Dixon dress up as that, and then you should do something like just completely absurd, like maybe dress up as like Elmo or the Cookie Monster, like something so out of line.
Dixon Cider, if you really do come on dressed up as in a Klan outfit, I'll do blackface.
Oh no!
If we do a live stream where the two co-hosts are a Klansman and a guy in blackface, I think that might be a good.
It reminds me of the Robert Downey Jr. blackface,
which is so funny that he somehow got away with that.
I know, it wasn't that long ago.
The selective outrage is so ridiculous, or the fact that like Jimmy Kimmel is still perfectly fine just because he toes the line hard enough, you know. Yeah, no, I will never apologize for when and if I, again, like I always say, if I ever do take off, if I ever succeed on YouTube, it is a 110% certainty I will get canceled for something, whether it be something I said on YouTube, whether it be from someone from my past coming back out and saying, you know, oh, he did this, you know, he was abusive this way, he did that, but you know,
it's going to be one of your ex-girlfriends and it's going to say, yeah.
Yeah, something will happen, and I will not apologize. Or the most I will do is be like, yeah, I did that and it was fucked up and I shouldn't have done that. But I'm never gonna do the whole like, you know, guys, I'm real sorry.
It's gonna be the equivalent of how like didn't somebody come out like a year or two ago saying that like Bob Dylan sexually assaulted them like back in the 50s, and the guy's like, you know, 90 now. And he was like, did you see that? Yeah, there was a like a court case where like some woman came forward, like, you know, what, 60, 70 years later, saying that like Bob Dylan sexually assaulted her back in the day. And the guy is so old, he was just like, what? But he has to go through with the court case. It's
yeah. People need to, it's just, you know, the problem with like the canceling stuff is like, no, it's not cool if he did do that. Really quick, just because Jim pointed out my hobby of hiding in bushes and attacking women.
Someone's getting raped tonight.
Like Bob Dylan said, he did do that shit when he was like, you know, 50 or however many years ago. It's like, okay, like you're a little too late. I don't know. I don't want to say like if nobody's willing to forgive anymore, like there's no grace or like forgiveness. Okay, so like if an ex-girlfriend of mine did come out and was like, yeah, he did this shit when he was 23. Like, dude, I'm 32 now. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, yeah, I was 23 and on drugs. Like, what you know what I mean? It's kinda like, so now is it time for me to, like, suffer a consequence of, like, losing some subscribers on YouTube? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, yeah, I did that shit, like, 10 years ago. I know it's not cool. That's why I don't do it anymore. Like, that's why I'm not doing that stuff anymore. But it just, yeah, I don't understand, like, the goal. I mean, I know what their goal is, but, like, in a realistic world, like, I don't get the goal of, like, canceling somebody for some shit they did 10, 15, 20 years ago. It's just like, what are
Or
you
in
gonna do?
Bob's case, 70 years ago. So
Yeah, like, what is he supposed to learn a lesson? Like, I'm pretty sure he's not assaulting anybody at 90 years old. I'm pretty sure, pretty sure
I'm sure
everyone's
he's
aware.
focused on, like, the next phase of his life.
Yeah, and I'm also sure that he's got eyes to see that the world is different. Like, you can't just do
Yeah.
that stuff nowadays. Oh, these TikTok comments are great. Someone says you're describing millions of people as if they're one personality type. They fucking are. Okay, anyways. But yeah,
For
no.
for
What?
what was that? Are you live on TikTok?
No. I posted that clip earlier on TikTok talking about what I call the gay cope.
Oh,
Where
yeah, okay.
gay people think all homophobic people are Christians or only homophobic or don't approve of homosexuality because they're all secretly gay themselves, which I'm like, is so fucking cope. And you don't see that with anything else. Like, nobody ever, like, if someone hates Taylor Swift, nobody ever goes, that's because you're secretly a Swiftie, bro. You just can't come to terms with it. It's like, no, maybe just he doesn't like Taylor Swift. Maybe it's just that simple. But or oh yeah, you're afraid of spiders. Maybe you secretly want to fuck spiders. Like, yeah, I really want to fucking rape a tarantula in a backyard somewhere. But yeah, no, I will get canceled, and you just kind of carry on because honestly, the internet's gonna forget about it in 2 days anyways. That's the main thing. Like, if you just carry on, or like I said, the most I would do is just be like, oh yeah, I can't deny that. Like, yeah, I did do that. It was not good. That's why I don't do it anymore. But other than that, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna do like the groveling, like, oh, I saw, yeah, when we did that blackface stream, the black community really educated me, guys, and I learned a lot, and I'm really glad to be able to talk to you right now. I'm very sorry if I hurt anyone. No, like, I'm not gonna do that. No, because it's just, it doesn't matter anyways. No one's ever been forgiven. Like, even when Sydney Sweeney came out and said, like, I don't wanna divide anybody. I don't stand for hate. I stand for love. They didn't care. No one gave a fuck. They just continued disliking her.
All right, well, I'm gonna get off. It's that
All right,
time.
that means everyone's gonna be stuck listening to a song from my high school band.
Okay. All right, I'll see you later, or I'll be in chat tomorrow.
All right, I'm sure I'll end up talking later tonight anyways.
Okay, bye.
Later. The first example of dumb bitches lying for decades and then admitting it. There's no forgiveness for doing after lying about it for X #years. There's just some things that it's like, and this is a different topic, but when it comes to false allegations, because you're talking about lying now, Fizz, like, I always think about, I dated girls when I was a freshman in high school, which at this point is literally like almost 20 years ago, like when I was 15, 16, and now I'm 32. So it's like 15, 16, 17 years ago. If like my girlfriend, my freshman year, if she came out today and said like I assaulted her, bro, it's been 17 years. There's literally nothing I can do to prove it. Like, what am I going to do? Get my cell phone from 17 years ago, my Motorola Razor that my mom gave me freshman year that didn't even have text messages? Am I supposed to like find a voicemail on, like, the long-term allegations? That's when shit gets kind of crazy. And then as far as, just like I said, trying to hold people accountable for things that they did in their 20s, or like 10 years ago or whatever, it's like, well, what do you want me to do about it now? I can't really take it back. Like, I would if I could, but my bad, I can't. All right. I don't know how long of this I'm going to be able to get through. When I was in a band, when I was in high school, I was in a band called June Breaks Bright. If you look all the way to the left of this picture, that's me with the hood on. It's kind of a blurry picture too. Right there, that one's me with the hood on. So you can't really see too much of me. I'm in the back. I was playing guitar in this track, though. Keep typing stuff into chat while I let this play for a minute. It's really bad.
When all these words come out right, it's like you don't even try. When I need it, and I need you to know these battles won't get the most of us until I'm burned into ashes.
Our drummer was like the worst drummer in the world, and he would write these really stupid parts. So like this part coming up here, there's not a snare. There's no snare for like 15 seconds. It's ridiculous. And at the time, I was very like live and let live. So I was like, oh yeah, well, I'm the guitar player and that's my drummer. Like our drummer, he's allowed to play whatever he wants because he's the drummer. If I was the way I am now, I'd be saying, bro, you're not playing that shit. Like you need to hit the fucking snare. Like, what are you doing? I would never let him get away with that today. But back then I was way too peaceful. Our screamer also sounds like a gorilla when he does his low screams. Like picture a gorilla. Here comes the snare part, by the way.
Please take my breath away the way you always do. Let's change the pace. Just how we need it to be. Please take my breath away.
Like, brother, there should have been a snare right there.
Please take my breath away the way you always do. And let's escape.
Well, I see some comments. Fizz muted. I totally understand. Jim, Holy 2009. This was probably 2010 that we recorded this. I'll skip ahead. There's a really bad lead into the breakdown. It's actually really embarrassing. So right here, the idea was cool. It was supposed to be guitar panning left and right, but somebody fucked up. You'll hear like the timing. I don't know. Like there's that little pause when it goes back from right to left. I also hate when breakdowns, I hate my drummer for doing that, just the instead of like actually following the guitar. How many bands were you and they had their music on YouTube? I think 2 of my bands. My best band, you can find our music on YouTube. What else? Hold on, let me play this for a sec. The last part of the song is actually a really good part. I will point out the last part of this song. It sucks. This is our best song, but the last part is actually cool. But hold on, let me look for. This part's cool, and this part is kind of cool to me for sentimental reasons. Our singer, Austin, me and him, all we wanted to do was get girls. So keep in mind, everything Austin ever wrote was for girls. So this part would be what I would refer to as the panty dropper part of the song. Like this was so Austin could like make eyes at girls in the crowd and sing with like a soft voice and shit.
I swear I won't miss a beat, and I'll make every second count. So hold me close, and I swear I won't miss a beat, in spite of every single thing. So hold me close and whisper everything.
And that reverby part goes on for like another minute. That was the outro of the EP. But okay, last song. This is the actual good band that I was in. The best band I was ever in. Our best song is actually the outro for the stream. Every time I hit the outro, that's the song that plays is the guitar part from our best song. But our second best song was this one. This one's only 1 minute and 30 seconds. We wrote short songs because we were smart and we knew what the people wanted. Champagne Girls, Vacaville, California. Greatest band to ever come out of California. We only made it about 2 years. This is 2013 too. That song actually literally got me laid. When we recorded the demo in the garage, I showed this chick in my car, took her for a drive and showed her in the car. And we did the deed afterward. There's a video. This is me. I'm blurry right now, but it's me. I had just cut off my blonde hair, so I have short hair with a beanie, but this is me. I don't know. We played acoustic in some yard for somebody to record a video that really sucked because he was just walking back and forth with the camera, so our guitars keep getting quieter and louder. I have my nails painted black in this. Our singer was black. I guess you can't tell here because it's black and white, and he was like half black. Yeah, that's 19-year-old me right there.
I'm trying to rip out this image of you in my head without driving you up the wall again. But you're stuck in my head, ripping past my insides, hoping you won't come back. Thinking
off-time guitar because we were drunk.
We'll be fine.
All right, actually, okay, I'll end the urges to put on black eyeliner. I will play the funniest thing. Do I still play for fun? No, I don't. I really can't play for fun. If I play guitar, I can only play if I'm like actively writing music and in a band and like pursuing a music like career essentially. I don't know. I can't do for fun. I don't sit in my room and play for fun. I still have that little cheap black acoustic guitar in my closet. I just don't, I'm just not into playing like just for shits and gigs. So after the outro of the stream, if you wait till the very end, you'll hear kind of a faint people yelling about how we're drunk. This is what that comes from. We were at a party at a buddy's house in Vacaville, and we recorded this, like kind of like off the cuff. Obviously, we just called it drunk.
I am drunk. I'm really drunk. I'm really drunk. Sometimes I think I'm drunk and then I realize I am drunk. Sometimes I think I'm drunk and then I realize I am drunk.
This guy in the middle, Carlos. Carlos was the other guitar player in the band. It was me on guitar, and then Carlos. Carlos was like, I looked up to Carlos because he was like 5 years older than me, and he was a way better guitarist than I was. And Carlos is a huge faggot now and blocked me on Instagram because I posted some politics joke back when the George Floyd riots were going on. I can't remember what I even posted. It might have been like a Steven Crowder bit, and that's why he was upset. And I'm not a Steven Crowder fan. I don't watch him, but it was just a joke that he made about like, oh, you guys, it was basically like you're mad at like Minnesota police, so you're out burning down like an antique store somewhere in California. Like, what the fuck does that have anything to do with you being mad at a cop in Minnesota? And Carlos messaged me. Keep in mind, this is years after the band breaks up, but you know, like I've said before, we were brothers. Like we were brothers of the strings, dude. We two guitarists of a band. You know, that you don't have two frontmen in a band, you don't have two drummers in a band or two bass players, you have two guitarists. You know, like we were the brothers that went to war together. And yeah, Carlos does have AIDS. Fuck Carlos. It's the kind of hate that I've said this. If Carlos walked into my room right now, I would stand up and give him a hug and say, like, I miss you. Like, how have you been? I don't know if he would do the same, but as soon as he said some shit to me, I'd punch him. This guy literally was like 5 feet tall, first of all. But yeah, so he messaged me, replied to my story and said, like, why are you posting that? And like, before I could even explain, like, I just thought it was funny. He was like, I'm going to block you. Like, he's a fucking teenage girl. So fuck Carlos. Carlos is a faggot. I fucking love him and I miss him though. The guy was my brother, but I have no problem telling my brother that he's a faggot. Also, notice how many dark people are in the band. Like, just like I'm the most exclusive YouTube channel on all of YouTube, we were also the most inclusive band in the world. What is this? Is more? What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many is 3 out of 5? I'm bad at math. Whatever percentage that is. 2 black people and a Mexican guy. But Carlos also quit at one point because we partied too much. I guess that was an early warning sign that Carlos was a faggot. He quit at one point, which was ridiculous. Carlos would buy me my beer. Carlos would buy me tall cans of Steel Reserve, which I hated, and he would force me to drink them before shows. And then one day, Carlos shows up at band practice and was like, you guys party way too hard at shows and you make asses out of yourselves. And then he quit the band. So then our singer over here on the left, he took up guitar and continued singing. Our drummer right here, the other white guy, my other white brother, he quit at one point because he would get into fights with our singer. They would get into fights about, you know, who knows what. They had been friends for a long time and they just kind of had their own personal friendship rivalry going on. And then yeah, there was always some funny stuff going on. Lost of friends. See, I've never really lost any friends due to politics, except for that one case I just mentioned. Most people that I knew in high school that think differently than me nowadays, we just kind of don't talk. But it's not because of politics. It's because I just kind of lost touch with them a long time ago. Yeah, blocking people over politics is absolutely teenage girl shit. Like, you can't handle seeing opinions other than your own. That's literally what it comes down to. Like, you're too emotional to handle seeing people who have different opinions than you. Like, you can't mentally handle it.
Epstein kidnapped me when I was 11. He showed me his song, feels like heaven. I can't accept that Epstein is gone. When it comes to grooming, I was his number one. If they ever release the Epstein files, they will find my name there at least 20 times. Melody is my queen. Epstein, where have you been? Diddy Heil Epstein. Diddy Heil Epstein. Diddy Heil Epstein. All from Diddy's party. Diddy Heil Epstein. Diddy Heil Epstein. Diddy Heil Epstein. All from Diddy's party. Diddy Heil Epstein.
That's also my band. I fucking wish. I'm only going to be on here for like 4 or 5 more minutes, so whoever's still left, say what you got to say. Or else.
Someone's getting raped tonight.
Someone's getting raped tonight.
I kind of like the high-pitched one, I guess.
Someone's getting raped tonight.
Everyone talks about Epstein kidnapping kids, but no one has ever stopped and asked maybe Epstein was kidnapped as a child. You know what they say, hurt people hurt people.
Eat me out, nigga. Eat me out, nigga. Beat it out, beat it out, beat it out, nigga. Drink it out, drink it out. Beat it out, beat it out, beat it out, nigga. Drink it out. Beat it out.
When George Floyd was killed, the knee was on his neck. He called out, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." Human beings around the world broke down. Why? Because when we imagine it, we think that this person had a knee on his neck, and for minutes, for minutes after minutes after minutes after minutes, 8 minutes, he's calling out, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." How about when for over an hour you call out, "I am thirsty, I am thirsty. Is there anyone to quench my thirst?" George Floyd had one knee on his neck and it hurt him. He was not able to recover.
Yeah, the high-pitched one sounds like a girl. That's what's funny about it.
Someone's getting raped tonight.
Hearing a girl say that someone's getting raped tonight, like, that's awesome. That's what I would prefer to hear. I like to make fun of my friends who have gay political views with my like-minded friends. It's a great conversation feel. Oh yeah, of course. It just sucks if people don't have a lot of like-minded friends. Right on, Jim. Thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna get off here in 2 minutes. I got 2 more minutes. I'm just gonna go until 8. Jim, continue shit posting in the Discord. You've been a very welcome addition, and I've been in the Discord more often. I am hanging out in the Discord more now.
Yo everyone, my name is George Droid. Microsoft brought me back in 2024 with the power of Fent and the Fent reactor. I gained new abilities like detachable Glock 17s, which I can use to neutralize all the pregnant women. And I feature never-before-seen propylon technology. I must thank Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk for giving me this new opportunity in life.
Nigalink online. Fentanyl reactor charging.
Cybertron systems check.
All right, we know that one. Yeah, I don't really know what else I could, God, and then I forget when I sample the sounds available, they're all really loud. So I guess I won't do that now. I won't do that to you guys now. I've done that before. All right, who's left? Seriously, who's left? I'm gonna get off in like 1 minute. You guys all gotta say who's left here. YouTube is telling me that, okay, YouTube tells me there's only 2 of you left, so there's not a lot of you here, so never mind. It's fine. You don't have to say shit. It's probably Triple E lurking in the shadows, and it's probably Dixon Cider because he just commented. So tomorrow I'm supposed to be on with Protomax. I think we only did an hour last week. We either did an hour last week or we skipped it. But I know the last couple weeks we haven't really done much. But I think I had some topics specifically. I might see if he wants to talk about that Billy Corgan thing, talking about getting rid of rock music. I got one post that I'm curious to see if he's down for. I forgot to mention the Bruce Campbell having cancer thing to Annie right before he came on. Oh yeah, I got the topic. I got a CM Punk topic for tomorrow night too. That'll be a good one. And then Wednesday I won't be on with Annie because we were on tonight. So I don't know what's gonna happen Wednesday. I might try to do I don't know. I might try to bring someone from the Discord in, maybe audio only on Wednesday. Maybe I can somehow split it up if maybe like Fizz would be down to come on for a segment. I'll figure something out for Wednesday. George Droid is always here in spirit.
I can breathe. We are George Floyd. We carry the fence. We'll fight for Derek Chauvin. We will overdose.
That's like my favorite line. We will overdose. All right, I'm gonna hit the outro. I'm gonna blow out some eardrums. Whoever's left, thanks for hanging out. It says there's like 4 people live right now, and there's 3 likes. Whoever the last one is that hasn't liked, never mind, it went down to 2. Fuck you guys. I hope you all die in car crashes. I'm gonna hit the outro.
And we're all here today to groove and have a beautiful time together, and that it's only the beginning. Sometimes I think I'm drunk and then I realize I am drunk. Sometimes I think I'm drunk.